Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, let's get into this. We're going to take a quick peek at a collective message. We start with the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is going to be the energy of balance, or the energy of trying to bring things into balance by compromising, by juggling, by, trying to figure out the right ratio of something. This could be, we have these identical twins here. So I have to say, whatever somebody is doing, they may be like really trying to sort out the same thing that someone else is trying to sort out. They could be cosmically connected, as we can see that triangle of the universe is, the backdrop for both of them. We have the world. See, I feel like two people are being inspired to figure out, how do we get through this? Where's the doorway? Where's the answer to this? I want to work through this. And I think that they are like really racking their brains. This feminine has a glowing third eye chakra, and she holds this blooming peony in her hands. And then we can see this kind of looks like, Arches National Park. But we see the sun is shining through. I feel like it's mimicking that third eye opening. One of these two individuals could be a Capricorn, could be a feminine, and that's a person who's having the first breakthrough. This could also represent that this is the distance between the two of them. They're on opposite sides of like a boundary or a barrier, but maybe they're both having the same awakening. The World card is always ending a cycle, starting a new one. We have the Moon. I've got to cover her just a bit because she's now got clothes on. And we have the Empress here, called the Life Giver. I love this card. I love the location. So I will definitely say that it appears to be the Empress and the intuition that an Empress has within her that is actually helping to come to a greater conclusion. Now, I don't know if she is, just because she has this conclusion that she's coming to, I don't know that finding a resolution, how to work things out with another person, means that she's saying, oh, here, I know what I have to do. I have to go chase them around. I have to go, offer them a solution. She may be saying, I just have to open up my heart space, not block whatever is in my greatest and highest good, and allow things to gravitate toward me, allow a person to gravitate toward me if that is what is meant to happen. So this is not the deck I intended. This one was picked up beneath the other deck, but we have to keep it now. We have the Star card. So, by the way, I should mention briefly, we have Capricorn. Now we have Aquarius, and of course we had Libra, Taurus, and we have Pisces so far in this story. A lot of major arcana in this. This is a big, momentous thing. We have karmic sideways. She's saying, I just needed to heal from my karmic energy. And we've got these two cobras that are, crisscrossing their necks side by side. I think the divine feminine is recognizing that there's been some cyclical behavior that she's identified in herself. And that's the thing she needs to let go of. If she's ever going to be able to have success either with or without this other individual and just move forward in her life, she's like, what I got to do is I got to stop having any of my own cycles of dysfunction. That's what I'm aware of. So that's what I'm letting go of now. The Hanged Man, Piscean energy. This is a mirror that actually has a big cobweb in front of it. We've got the inverted heart, but then we do have the blooming rose up above. So I'm going to say that she's able to figure this out for herself. She may wonder, I wonder if they've come to the same conclusion. I know that what I can control is my own actions, my own behavior, and I'm able to let go of my own karmic behavior. Now, she might be saying, and I acknowledge that maybe this person that I have wanted, maybe they were my karmic. Maybe I have to release them in order to release any toxicity. But then if we were to find our way back to each other, if we were meant to be, then perhaps we would both have released our karmic energies and maybe we could be successful. Page of Wands is sideways. I really feel like she's letting somebody go and giving it to them. So let me ask this. Feminine, what did you think your karmic behavior was? Since you clearly are saying, I realize I have to stop something. King of Swords, King of Wands. I know this sounds crazy, but she may have had to stop thinking that someone was an amazing king and putting expectations on them that they maybe couldn't fulfill in case they were not this remarkable and amazing king. She maybe needed to stop expecting someone to meet her criteria if indeed they were not that person. So then you take away the disappointment, because it's like, well, if I wanted someone to be that, but they showed me that they aren't that, why would I be angry, or why would I be trying to still give them this title that they clearly cannot wear? I can't give them a crown that doesn't fit on their head. So that was me expecting more of them than what maybe they were revealing they actually wanted to give me, or maybe, I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, because it sounds insulting, but it's all about like semantics in the way I describe this. So forgive me if I get it wrong in the way I'm about to say it, but she may have thought they were a better man than they actually are. And then that was causing grief. So she's angry at them. How come you couldn't be truthful with me? How come you couldn't be open-hearted and loving with me? Instead of saying, wait a second, maybe I got them all wrong. Or maybe their love language was different than what I'm expecting. Or maybe their ability to be communicative is not the same way I would expect them to be. Maybe there's someone who speaks in, small facts and doesn't give me the full spectrum of information, but I expected much more transparency. I'm not saying that this person was like, wow, she thought they were great and really they suck, and she needed to let go of that idea that they're awesome, because that's what was making her frustrated or making her sad, that why wouldn't this awesome person be awesome toward me when this is what they're supposed to be? But rather, maybe she kind of put somebody on a bit of a pedestal instead of getting to know the real them and saying, now, wait a second, are they King of Wands? Are they loving, or maybe are they selfish? Or do they love me the way I want to be loved, the way I understand love to be? I think this is her saying, I had expectations. I had expectations that I wanted them to meet, instead of looking at the facts of what they were really offering. So of course I was disappointed. That was her karmic lesson to learn. Okay, so Divine Feminine, what now do you think about in regards to this Hanged Man? You're saying, I don't know if they've seen things in a different light. I don't know. We've got the Nurturer of Wands, we've got the Six of Wands, and we got the 10 of Pentacles. It's almost like she wonders, how did they see her? Did they see her as somebody, beautiful, empowered, as their family? She's actually starting to wonder, did I maybe wreck things? Did they see me as a person that they wanted, but then maybe I kept having expectations? Or maybe this is the way I wanted them to see me. How did they really see me? I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to give to me because they didn't see me as their forever person. Even though this sounds really harsh, it's so important to be able to clear out pain and hurt by looking at facts. And she's kind of asking herself those very grown up, adult questions that we can only ask ourselves if we're unafraid of the truth. If we'd rather get to the truth of something so then we can move forward in life. And she's just very openly saying, I don't know. I mean, I imagined this is how I wished it had been. I wish they had seen me as they were my King of Wands. I was their Queen of Wands. They saw me as successful and loving and open-hearted and warm, a little bit badass, a little bit spicy, that they would have liked me for, my ability to reinvent myself after some difficulties in my own life. And ideally, I would have thought that they would have seen me as their family, someone that they wanted to be a part of something we could build and, create an empire together. But I don't know if that's how they saw me. Of course, that's why I've been in more probably pain than I needed to be in, because I built into my head everything that I thought it was going to be without knowing, is this really how they viewed the situation? So I have to say, this Divine Feminine is just totally taking, I don't want to say accountability or responsibility. She's contemplating, I know one thing and only one thing, which is who I really am. I know I am an Empress. I know that's who I always want to be. I know that means I may need to heal and let some disappointments go. I know that it's time for me to have a new cycle. And I know that it's time for me to be really, really honest with myself about what my hopes, wishes, dreams, and goals are in a relationship and what I was imagining that relationship was going to be, even if I didn't have evidence that that's what it was. So now I can free myself from it because ultimately I have no idea what they really thought of me. It didn't come across in a way that I could make sense of it. Maybe they were mildly interested in me. With that page of wands says maybe this was so much less important to them than what I realized, which again would be really foolish for me to carry disappointment, heartbreak, thinking that this was this wonderful romantic relationship that failed and I can't understand why, when maybe the truth has been in my face all this time. Maybe they weren't that into me. Maybe they didn't have any of the attributes that I wanted either, but I just didn't see it that way. Look, all I can say is I have been this person. I find this a very relatable story. I know I have in the past, probably like when I was younger, like a decade ago or something like that, thought something was more important than it actually was. It was more important to me than it was to the individual. And it took me a while to figure that out. And then it was like, oh gosh, I put way too much thought into this, and it's like considering only from our own perspective without knowing how the other person interprets that. That's one of those things that we got to remind ourselves, like everyone, what are they showing up as? How important are they making this versus how important I think something is? Obviously, an Empress in this storyline, which is what our character is, the Empress wants seriousness. They want to build, they want to grow, which means she should interview only for that role, not someone who may come across as a page of wands. So she's totally like relaxing and releasing any kind of disappointment, hurt, and pain, because I think she's realizing I was trying to imagine that a page was going to be the person I could build an empire with. That wasn't going to happen. The same way we can't hire somebody who's never driven a car before to be our director of transportation in this our company that builds automobiles and ships them around the world, and has no understanding of how vehicles run. They can't represent and do test drives and show models of our vehicles to potential massive clients when they don't understand vehicles and they don't drive. You have to hire the right person for the right job. We have an Eight of Swords. This has been where her mind was stuck for a while. And I think this is her seeing the sunshine filter in. She's seeing where her own blockage was. She's seeing her own karmic action. I was stuck on someone thinking they were a king when I was only dealing with a page and wanting to build like an Empress builds. That was up here from me. Now I have no idea who they really were, other than I know now how I was looking at them and why I was so greatly disappointed in all this. I think her disappointment's gone. I think this is the day she is free from a massive disappointment. Now, please remember, this could be a masculine or a feminine. Does not matter. The storyline, I would read the same way regardless of what gender we're talking about. It's just we've had so many feminine cards here that I keep saying she. And I said, I think this is the day she gets free of that heartbreak. We literally have the Three of Swords shifting into the Ten of Cups. I think this is her best day ever. I think this is the day this feminine breaks free of that heartbreak, breaks free of the sorrow that, and the feeling of like, well, how could this person who was so wonderful do me dirty? And then she's like, wait a second, who says they were so wonderful? I was dealing maybe just with a page. That's not who my happiness was. My happiness is across this bridge. My happiness is this beautiful castle. My happiness is with a person, not the one who broke my heart. And in fact, I don't even know if my heart's broken anymore over what happened in the past. My happiness is all I care about now, and it's up ahead. So she's making peace with something not by figuring out why they did what they did, but by figuring out how she perhaps misinterpreted some things and then kind of put pain upon herself. I think that's such an empowering message. This is not a victim blaming or anything like that. This is only a story of personal healing through her own. I mean, this is how an Empress or an Empress does it, right? They take control of their environment, their actions, their thought processes, and from their own ability to be truthful with themselves, that's where they find their answers. And that's how they shed that hurt, that pain that was really unnecessary for them to carry. We got the Three of Sacred Circles. This is the Three of Pentacles. You notice there's somebody wonderful, somebody that will be a beautiful complement. They're ready to meet their forever person now. That's what this story is about. Universe, is she meeting her forever person? My impression is this is going to come in fast. The Magician. Yes, she's her perfect person could be a magician. Now, bear in mind, an Empress is one of the 3D power couple components, right? An Emperor, Empress are what we see in the 3D world. Now, in the 5D world, that power couple is made up of the Magician and the High Priestess. That's our magical power couple. So she's showing up as a terrestrial, divine feminine power couple component, and they are showing up as the magical masculine power component. So we actually have an Emperor Empress dynamic here, but they're each coming in with different energies. This is amazing. I think that even here we have somebody flying in and the other person on the earth, on the ground. Maybe she's an earth sign. Maybe her partner is going to be an air sign. This could be Virgo, Gemini. She was Libra, Taurus. But you notice how they both have an earth and an air energy, and now we see that. I feel like it's, again, the perfectly matched duality. I think that the two of them can probably, maybe they both have air and earth placements, but that are, like, really prominent. But I think that the right partner for her is the one that is incoming. It's the one that she's about to meet. But she had to first clear the old karma of that old broken heart. She had to clear that karma. And this is such a good year to clear karma, especially right about now, because we've just come through that solar eclipse as well. That was yesterday. But this is Year of the Serpent. It's a great time to shed an old skin. I'm so excited for this divine feminine. So that's it. She's done with a chapter and has done what she had to clear out the old, the thought processes that she herself, this was not about needing to have a conversation with an ex. This storyline was not about the ex at all. It was about her going through a thought process to understand what she'd been holding on to, where her own karma had come from. And karma to me is just like, it's, when I keep talking about the karmic cycle there, it's just, she needed to get to the point where she could release whatever that disappointment and that thought process was. It was still associated so strongly with what she'd gone through, that heartbreak with an ex. That's what we just saw her release. That was amazing. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.